Hey there, happy Monday. Thanks for joining me tonight for a craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time that we can relax and craft together. So it is the new year. I am back, and I'm happy to see all y'all popping in here. This month, I'm going to talk a little bit more about our schedule for this year and a few other things. But this month, I think we are going to be working on cleaning up shop, like finishing up all our unfinished projects. I'm gonna make a list of my unfinished projects, and I'm gonna hopefully crank some of them off here. So tonight we are gonna start by finishing that letter T that we tatted. I'm gonna stitch it onto the zipper pouch. This is gonna be my tatting zipper pouch here. So that is the plan, and of course we have our new embroidery of the month, our little skiing penguins, skiing and snowboarding penguins. So thanks everyone for your orders for that. We do have that fun new extra with that. A few will be receiving that soon. I'll keep that just a surprise until you guys get them. But that'll be coming in the mail to you really soon here. So thanks again for that. All right, let's get going. Let's get making some more stuff again. Okay, everyone, thanks again for joining me. So here is that letter T that we tatted. I'm going to zoom you on right down. Oh, just to share too. So some of the projects I want this month, I'm going to talk about the new year a little bit, but I want this month to be just kind of finishing up all these little things that I got hanging out here. They're driving me nuts, and I want a fresh, super clean year. So I'm working on finishing all these little minor projects, and we'll be doing more quilting and all that sort of stuff too. So a few of those, I just have them sitting here. So remember, this is that swan zipper pouch that we made. We did a zipper pouch on a zipper pouch on a curved zipper top. And I hand quilted this and embroidered it. It's hand quilted on the back, so I never took off the water soluble marker. But I also sewed when I sewed it, I turned the zipper the wrong direction, so that made like these weird big puckers. I actually want to take these out and re-sew the sides together, just because we spent so much time on this and it's so cute, but just those little sides are driving me crazy. I would like this to be my bag that holds all my hand quilting stuff. So this is a project I'd like to do. Also, I have sitting here, I wanted to do this all over vacation, but that never happened. That's how it goes, I suppose. So I have this sweater. It's all wool. It's all hand knit. My mom actually knit this ages ago. And I've acquired it, but it never really fit very well. So what I'd like to do, because it's so warm and it's really long and stuff too, so it'd be great for for a house sweater. It even kind of tapers in. I don't know. It's just I think the pattern didn't turn out exactly how she wanted it either. So it's just been kind of sitting around unworn. But I would like to. And tell me if this is crazy. So if this is just crazy, let me know. But I would like to cut straight down the middle of the front, and then bind the side, bind that up into two edges. So it's actually basically a long cardigan. Because then I can have it open in the front, and I think it'll just fit better. So I just want to very easily. I just want to cut down the middle, and put some bias tape on either side. In my head that sounds easy. so we'll see. But that's another little project. I just want to finish up all these tiny projects this month. There's also some larger projects. I'm going to zoom you guys down here. Larger projects that we have on our docket yet. I mean, we have all of our quilts. So all of our quilts are basically at that. Amy's saying unless you felt it, it will unravel. So that's why I want to cover the edge with that bias tape really quickly. So I want to cut it up, maybe put like a quick seam. Maybe I should sew the seam first and then cut it, and then I want to cover it up with a with bias tape that we probably have to make too. Yes, exactly, Sylvia. I think just like that. Maybe cut two or sew 2 lines and then cut in between. I think that's how I want to do it. Maybe even 2 zigzag lines and cut in between. So we'll have to come up with a plan for that. But I think that. Oh, it's called a. Oh, interesting. So Miffy Lemon says you can. It's called a steek, and it's scary, but it turns out awesome. So that's what. So cutting it right in the middle and having. Oh, Amy's saying steeks as well. If she steeks, it won't unravel. Okay, so this is a whole thing, this steek thing. Okay, now y'all, I gotta get a notebook out here. I have never heard that term before, steek. So a couple of you guys are saying that. So I'm gonna put steek for wool sweater, just to look up like what the heck you guys are talking about. So there's something I can do to it so it won't unravel the edge too. That's interesting. So I'm gonna look that up, and we'll touch on that. I'm just learning how to tat, Starksy. So this is actually the letter T that we tatted a couple weeks ago. Last time I was on, I took a week off for the holidays. So this is kind of what we ended up with. Today I would like to spray it, just like press it because it's a little wobbly here, and I'd like to stitch it, like hand stitch it to this little zipper pouch. So this zipper pouch is going to be my tatting zipper pouch. So everything I need for tatting, I can just grab this and I know I'll have it. So anyway, let's get going on that, and we can keep chatting here. I'm going to just empty this out. You can see what's in this tatting bin so far. I got a couple of those other little guys that I've tatted. This is the entirety of what I've tatted, besides the greeting cards that I put snowflakes on and sent off this year. This is that, let's see, that pattern here. So this is that free pattern from, let me find the front of it here. Yeah, from Sparrow Spite here. So that's that free pattern from their website. So check that out. And I made a big one before I knew what I was doing. I have tons of mistakes on here, including running out of thread. And then I made an itty bitty one that I just freaking love, and I don't really know what to do with it yet. So any ideas on that I would take. And I have another one started. So I'm doing the same exact thing. It's just with a slightly different color variegated floss, or variegated 12-weight thread, actually. They're so itty-bitty. So it's just a little bit more blue. This one's a little maybe teal, a little bit more greeny teal, and this is more like got some navies and stuff in. So I'm making another one just because why not? Got my fancy new shuttles that I'm very happy with so far. What else? Oh yeah, so here I'm using this 12-weight Orofil cotton thread. Ooh, earrings! Amanda Godwin says earrings. Oh yes, everyone loved their greeting cards, Sylvia. And I loved making them. I would totally make more, for sure. Ooh, it could go to my little jean jacket. Like, I do have that jean, it's kind of like a jean shirt, jean jackety type thing. That is, I've just been starting to put stuff on it. So it would be awesome to put like something tatted on there. Ooh, and you know what? I do have, so here's this other, this is that tee. So these tees are from that vintage instructions, which are practically illegible. They are so hard to read. I mean, I physically can read them, like the type is fine, but like understanding them is so confusing. Like they're just assuming I know a whole lot, I think, and making those corrections as I go. So that was really difficult. So this is the one where we tried to do it based on the instructions, and there's actually a lot of craziness, and we've adapted it quite a bit. So this is pretty forced, this one, but this one, it's still a letter T, and it actually doesn't look all that bad. We could stitch this onto the jean jacket. That'd be kind of awesome. So I do like that. Stretch it and put under the spool of thread on the sewing machine, yeah, we could totally do that. I think I need to do something a little bit more special than that since this took ages. Oh, you love tatting also? Oh, that's awesome. So I do love the idea of earrings. We'll definitely have to starch it. I don't know all about that yet. Still learning on all that. But I have to finish this guy first, so we'll do that. Okay, so this is the T that I want to stitch on there. Oh, and then I have my other shuttles in here. What else? Oh, a scissors. I always like having a scissors with any project, so this one's going to live. Oh, I should put a cover on that. I do have a cover. And you guys, I do have more of those covers coming in the mail, too. Let's see, do I have one? Oh, here we go. There we go. This is going to live with this. So I do have more of these on its way. So I know some of you guys have been asking for them, and I've been out. So I do have a few more coming. So anyway, I better keep that on. I don't want that poking everything in my bin. And then I just have my little snowflake instructions. This is for our little tatted snowflake here. And what else? Oh, just my notes. Oh, another copy of that pattern. So I gotta throw some of this out. I don't need all this in here. Oh, this is me. I should actually rewrite this. This is me designing this letter T. This was after I was so frustrated starting this first one that I'm like, I'm rewriting that so it makes sense. And that's what this one is. This is the one that we're gonna use. So here's my little instructions for that. And that original tatting kit that I got a zillion years ago, where this guy came in and where I tried to tat for the first time like 10 years ago and got it for a second, but it took like all day, and then I was too scared to do it ever after that, and then have recently picked it up in the past month or so. What is tatting? So tatting is all of these little stitched fellers that we're working on. You make it with shuttles. So this is a tatting shuttle. These are my fancy tatting shuttles that I just got to be fancy for myself. But what we do actually, my fun, colorful tatting shuttles just came back in the mail a couple of days ago. So these are back. I know you guys have been asking for these because we ran out. So we have a whole pile of different colors. I've been doing some videos with them, so they have thread on them. So these crazy little contraptions actually can make like all of these things here, made all of these. So it's just kind of crazy. So it's basically a tool to help tie tiny little knots. All of this is really done with one stitch, which is crazy, called a double stitch. And it's also like a half hitch. So it's very actually close to macrame. But anyway, so these shuttles are tools to do that. There's a few different styles. So that is what's currently, and like a whole pad to write notes on. And my notepads are old kitty calendars. So my brother's been getting me like these cat calendars, and I love them. And then the back is perfect to write notes on. So I actually have a pencil and a little notepad because clearly I've been making my own notes for patterns and stuff. So I'm keeping that within my bin as well. So that's basically what is going to go in here. Oh, and this too. So I have to show you guys this. Oh, first of all, I have. Ooh, they're stuck. I have some not safety pins. What are these? Paper clips. So paper clips are used, I'm discovering, in tatting to like hold your place every once in a while. So that's what these guys are for. So I have a couple of those in my bag. And then, so these are some new things that I just got in as well. So this is actually what will be coming in your kits this month. So this is, I wasn't going to give this away yet, but I'm doing it anyway. So this is our Embroidery of the Month kit. And there are needle minders in the kit. So we always have a bonus item for the Embroidery of the Month. And these are our bonus item for this month, which is fancier than usual. I'm really happy with them. So a needle minder is basically some magnets, and you can put it on the front, and then the magnet goes on the back. There, I just plopped it on, so there it is on the back. And then when you're stitching your embroidery, you can just put the needle there. So like, I stitched, I'm done stitching. So instead of putting the needle like down next to me and it just like disappearing for all of time, and then there's a needle somewhere on the floor, you can then put it on your piece there. So I'm stitching and I can just drop the needle there. I actually sometimes don't even put it on my piece. I just kind of have it next to me and I throw the needle at it. So these little puppies will be coming in the mail. If we don't run out of them, we'll put them in the shop as well. So probably mid-month we'll have them alone in the shop, but right now they come with the Embroidery of the Month kit, which is this feller here. So you'll see those in your mailbox soon, but I have it in my tatting kit here just because I do have a needle when I want to tuck in the ends of all of these, and so this is just to hold the needle. Although I don't know if that's the best way to do it. It does hold the needle, but like, I mean, it holds these guys too, but it also, like, this guy's metal, and I think, it gets stuck on the scissors, so it might just be more of a nuisance. I might just, I don't know, figure out a different way to store the needle in my bin or in my zipper pouch, but we'll see. I don't know. But anyway, that's what's in my zipper pouch so far for tatting, but I do want to add this nice letter T on tonight. My last name is Thomas, so it can either be read as T for Thomas, or in my head it's T for my tatting bag, and this is also tatted as a secondary reminder. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is just spray this down a little bit. I don't need to super duper starch this because I'm just going to stitch it onto my bag right away, but I am going to just spray it with some light starch and press it. Maybe kind of pin some things in place, just because I think it's going to be easier to pin it to here. So we'll see. Oh, you guys are excited about the needle minders. Yay, that makes me so happy. It's been a long time coming. I don't know why I haven't done those yet, but I'd love to do more as well. All right, spray starch. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. So this is my, and I got a little paper towel here too. This is my little thing of best press, so I just put it in a different container. This is at different craft stores. It's just like a light spray starch. So I'm just gonna spray this. I don't know if I should just do it in the corner of this. So I could actually just probably do this with water too. I just wanna, we're basically blocking our piece. So I just want to kind of pin it down, get everything where I want it to be, and then we'll hit it with the iron quickly. I think this is just going to make it easier to stitch it onto the bag, like, because it's kind of like winging up a little bit. Let's see if we can take care of that. So let's just put a pin right kind of in the end there, and then let's just kind of guide this T a little bit. Get this guy over. And this one's being a little wonky, so let's scooch him in. And then I'll just like hit this with the iron. I'd love to make another one of these just because I know this turned out so wonky, but I'd love to maybe try some different letters. It'd be fun to rewrite the whole alphabet actually. Because like I said, those instructions from from that old, I think it was from 1915, that old pattern were, oh God, basically unusable in my mind. I just want to, maybe I can just, well, yeah, I guess we'll pin these two. They're a little wobbly all over the place. Like if I did this again, I would totally have a different plan for it, but I don't want to do it again. I'd rather do a different letter and let this be wonky and use it as a learning thing, like, oh, that was back when I was trying to do that vintage pattern that was crazy. I've learned a lot since then. That's what this will represent. I think these guys are all kind of okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to bother pinning those down, but I think we got a few wonky ones up here. Let's just kind of do our best to pin those. Ooh, Catherine says I would like a G for tatting. So I definitely want to do a letter A for my first name, for Alyssa. But let's peek at those other letters quick, because some of them are really cute. So I would totally rewrite them. Like, I would just look at the picture and redo it from scratch, because, like I said, those instructions are crazy town. But I think I can do that. I think I'm confident enough now that I can do that. Okay, so let's just take a look at that quick. So here's EFG. Ugh, that G's pretty weak. I think I would try and bring it out a little bit more. That bottom stem. Weird. I'm surprised that doesn't go back a little bit further. I would at least do, like, here's the A. I think that's really pretty. It's got this little swoop. That little, like, that much I would try and put on this G, I would think. The Z is kind of cute. Like, the Z even has, like, those little notches. I think the G could do better here. Ooh, the Q is cute, though. Look at that little flower in the Q. Ooh. All right, I do like that. So I would love to do this whole alphabet, like, rewrite it. If I do that, I'll share it so you guys can have it, too. But I'm just sort of loving it. It just turned out so cute. So, all right. So now I'm just going to... Let's put this on top. I'm just going to squish this with my iron. So hopefully this will be all in place. Oh, Gina's asking, how did my mom's tatting adventure go? So my mom is trying tatting too, making these little snowflake fellers. She made a few of them with variegated floss, and oh my god, the variegated looks so pretty. I want to do a bunch with variegated thread. I think that'd be awesome. So we were having trouble, and I was having trouble. I had to look it up again. Doing that last join. So if you're a tatter, you know what I'm talking about. Like when you've gone all the way around and then you have to do the last little join. Just getting that coordinated, like where the thread goes and where your hands go and where the shuttle is, all that was just confusing. But then we found online a folding method. Gosh, I'm gonna have to look up how to do that again. I should have bookmarked it, but like a video on how to like fold it a little bit to like get it going. So once we did that, then she was able to finish her snowflakes, and they turned out great. So I'm gonna have to look up that technique again because I'm new to all this too, and I don't remember it offhand. So yep, her tatted snowflakes turned out so cute. I think she did a green one, and it was variegated greens, and then variegated red to pinks, but rich, really deep reds, kind of like this, like if the scissors like went from the scissors to like this pink. That was really pretty, I thought. Oop, there we go. And yeah, so it's going. I think she's still doing it. We tatted a little bit when I visited them. So that was fun. All right, I think this looks a little bit better. At least some of the little nubbins, the picos is what they're called. They feel like they're going in a better position, and this feels flatter, and our little ascenders there or whatever. That's not what they are. I used to know all the anatomy for typography. I don't know anymore. So anyway, I would like to stitch this on here. So theoretically, I probably should have done this before making the whole bag. Because I don't want to accidentally stitch through the inside of this, although that wouldn't be the end of the world. So I would like to actually just be able to stitch this just to the front side. So I'm wondering if it might be a good idea to pull this out. Gosh, it might be a good idea just to open this up again. So it's sewn shut right here. But if I open that up, then I could like get my hand in there to help stitch. And I can make sure that I'm not stitching all the way to the back. I think I'm gonna do that. So we're gonna open this up Ooh, that means I can use the seam ripper. And then I'll just have to sew it shut again when we're done. That makes sense, right? I think that's a good idea. Okay, let me get a seam ripper somewheres around here. Oh, there, I see it. Okay, you guys, it is time. I am like ready for a reset. So, all right, I am going to talk about what we're doing for this year for these lives yet. But I definitely need to clean up my area here. Just regather all my supplies again. Get rid of the clutter. So I'm definitely in the declutter area. Have you thought about using narrow steam-a-seam? We almost could do that. Let's see. I don't know, that kind of scares me a little. I think I'm going to just try and hand stitch this on. Man, we're going to see all those stitches though too. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Steam-a-seam doesn't make sense. Amy says, Alyssa, did you just get excited to use the seam ripper? Call me jealous, Jack is my best friend. I just love it because I like with the seam ripper, I don't like when you pick out each little stitch, but like the real way to use a seam ripper, and I'm just trying to, it might not work on this particular seam because it's a little bit weird, but I've picked out the first couple stitches, and then you can flip it so the red nubbin side is down. Let's see if I can get this to work. It's kind of a weird seam. Let me just pick a few more out here. This is weird because it's kind of a top stitch seam. It's not like a seam you can open up, but theoretically I should be able to turn the red side down and just zip right through these. I don't want to cut the thread, cut the fabric though. Ooh, I'm a little too scared to do that. I think in this case I'll just do it this way. I'm just afraid if I go like that, I'm gonna actually rip my fabric. This seems to be working fine. But I love in a seam ripper where you can just open up the seam and you just go zoop all the way up, and it all just goes super fast, and I think that way of doing it's kind of fun. All right, so I'm gonna attempt to pin, there we go, this letter T to here, and if I need to, I can kind of, actually, you know what? Let's put a piece of paper underneath. Let's put this whole thing there. I'm just going to put this pattern in there, and then I can pin without it going through to the fabric. I don't think it'll pin through this paper. There we go. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, so I guess we're just going to eyeball the center here. I suppose I could measure. Let's get a ruler out, people. All right, what do we got here? We got like 9.5 inches, so what, 4 3/4. So I need to scooch it just a hair. It's actually, let's see, right on this kind of blue rule line would be the center, at least right here. So like right in there, and then let's see if that is at the top too. Yep, not bad. And then we're about 1.25 inches that way, and 1.25 inches that way. All right, so not bad. So right there, I'm gonna just go right on this blue rule line, and the top to bottom I'm not as concerned with. I think that looks fine. Gosh, I feel like I'm getting so like fancy with this. Like I feel like I maybe did not think about how much work this would be to stitch it down, but we're doing it. So I don't know. In my head, I'm just going to tack it down. Like, the idea is to tack it down with some pins and then just start stitching. Does that sound like it makes sense? Oh, you know what? Let's use applique pins. We're kind of just appliquing this, aren't we? So I have these smaller pins. Hey, Mary and Carissa. So I have these itty-bitty applique pins. I think that would probably be a little bit more appropriate for this. Hey, Lydia. Yep, attempting to stitch this guy down. We're basically appliquing him onto this bag. Ugh, this is already annoying, though. Gosh, is that even going through there? All right, I suppose that's attached. Let's just get the top and bottom first. I think if I go through these top areas, it's going to be easier. All right, I got to see what I'm doing a little bit more here. Ugh, this feels messy. So I don't know, should I just be letting these little picots dangle, or should I tack those down as well? Because I could just kind of go around this heavy outside area, like go all the way around and then just let these hang. I think maybe that's what I should do. Why did I put the paper inside? So I put the paper inside to help me so I don't pin all the way through to the back. So I'm going to remove that paper once I start stitching, but maybe I wouldn't have to. So the paper's just there to block these pins from going all the way through. I actually just opened up the bag, like I took the lining out and I opened up where I sewed the lining shut just so I could get my hand in there too, just in case I need it to help stitching. Maybe I won't, but if it's there, then I at least won't, again, go to the back. I don't want to have it in any other place. So I think I'm going to just put as minimal pins as I can here because this is annoying. So let's just get this guy here. I don't know. Good enough. I think we can figure it out from there. Ah, it's cute though. I like it. So I think maybe we just start at the bottom and start stitching. I think I'm going to put one in the middle just so it doesn't have that little wobble. It doesn't, these don't go through doesn't go through these stitches very well, these pins, or the fabric. I think this fabric's pretty dense, so this is not working well, but I think we got enough there. All right. And based on that, I'm gonna use like the skinniest little needle I have. So I got Zeb here, and he's my needle carrier here. So I'm gonna use that tiny little straw needle. I think this is a size 11. It's all bent. Gosh, it's almost as thin as a beading needle, but it's a size 11 straw or Milner's needle, and those are they're sharp, but their characteristics is that they're kind of extra long. This one happens to be very thin, which is what I want it for. It has a small eye. I'm going to use just sewing thread. I thought I'd poach some of the thread from this bobbin just because it's a light color. I think it'll blend in pretty well. So I think that's the plan here. Hey, Carrie from Montreal. Ooh, Sylvia says I got a pin cushion that attaches to my wrist for Christmas. Nice. Love some sewing related presents. That's awesome. So my present to myself were these shuttles. I actually got a it hasn't come yet, but I got this for myself too. But I got a speed weaver darner. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? With that, It's to darn, and I know, I don't have that sweater here, but we've done some darning here before, but it's actually a tool to do like woven darning. Um, Faster, like way faster, and I'm so excited to share it with you, but it hasn't come yet. It's coming from like Russia or something. Oh, Capella says, "Oh, cool! I really want one." So this is not an original one. It's a remade one, but it comes with like some beautiful colors, and I actually got a couple different sizes. Two of them are the same size. I got like a set of 3. I don't know. They were doing a fun big deal sale for it for the holidays. So I got 3, and I'll probably give one to my mom, and then I'll keep the 2 different sizes. But yeah, so that was my other Christmas present to myself. Why am I tying a knot this way? I'm going to do a quilter's knot. Hold on. Let me trim that. But yeah, I'm so excited for that. So we'll have to test those out when they come. All right, so I'm going to do a quilter's knot. That's just when you hold the end here and the needle here, and you kind of point them at each other. I'm going to grab the end of the thread and just have it on my needle like so, and then I'm going to wrap around. It's kind of like doing a French knot. I'm just going to wrap around the needle a pile of times. I did about like 8, just because I want a bigger knot. And then I'm going to hold those loops in my fingers and pull that thread through. You can kind of get a better sense of where your knot's going to be, and you're not like just putzing with the end. So that's a quilter's knot. There, I got this nice big knot, and I think I'm just going to come up from the inside at the bottom here and get started. So let's see how that goes. So I still have that paper in there. I think that actually might help me. I might leave that in here. So I've reopened this up. Ugh, this is going to be a huge big pain, I think. But it's going to be cool to have my little tatted tee on here. All right, so this is going to be the most annoying part, I think. I'm just going to kind of come up where I can here. All right, let's go right there, and then I'll make adjustments. Ooh, I'm going to try and get my hand out of there. Based on how annoying that was, I am going to try and do this right like on the surface here. Like I'm just going to try and tack like this. So I'm really hoping that the paper is going to help with that. The paper I think is stiff enough that it's not going to go through. If I used like a postcard, that'd probably work a little bit better, but I think we're probably fine. So all right, I've come up just like right at the base here. Gosh, holding it like this might actually be nice. Okay, yeah, ooh, all right, I'm getting it right now. So I'm going to go around that spot again. I'm just going to kind of grab a little bit of that fabric underneath. And this is all theoretical. I've not done this before. I'm just going to go around kind of one of these loops here. There, so I'm around that blue little part there. Just going to kind of hold it in place. Normally, if I was... I'm going to go counterclockwise. I was going to go clockwise just then, but that felt backwards from my normal way of like applique. So yeah, this feels more comfortable. So all right, so I'm going to just kind of we're basically like doing that needle turn applique feel to it. And I'm just going to keep kind of lifting it up a little bit just to make sure I haven't stitched into the paper. But I'm basically coming up inside, like in my stitched area, and I'm going back down into the fabric in basically the same spot, but only the fabric, and then I'm going to come up a stitch length away in the tatted area again. So let's do that. So right now I'm up through the tatted piece, I think. Yeah, just barely. I might actually go through this little spot again. So now I'm only in the back fabric, and now I'm going to come up through the tatted piece. There we go. So we got a little tack there. So now I'm going to go just right across where I was, just in that fabric again, and then come up a little ways away in both the back fabric and my tatted piece. And there we go. So this is good. I think I'm feeling comfortable. So I'm going to remove this pin. I don't think I need him anymore. I think this is working fine. I don't think I need a hoop or anything. This is now, it's starting to feel familiar to me. It's feeling like needle turn applique, and I'm comfortable with that. So we're gonna just keep tacking down this edge. So you'll be able to see these stitches, but just barely. And I think I am gonna just leave these picots to float in space. I think that maybe that's kind of fun. They're gonna wobble and move to wherever they want to be again. I know we starched them down a little bit, but whatever. I can always come back and tack them down if I want to, but they're kind of fun, just free floating. It feels very picot-y. So I'm just gonna go around this outer edge, the main fat outer edge. I'm not gonna worry about like getting the inside of these circles or anything like that. There, this tiny little base is on. We might be doing this for more than a day. In my head, this is gonna be like so quick just to get this done, but dang, just prepping everything took its time. I always forget all that stuff takes time. I always want to rush through to finish all these things. So, and on that note, oh gosh, Sylvia did a Hawaiian-inspired block last week, all needle turn. I am dying to do a whole quilt in that style. I would love to do that. Just all that needle turn and like a big, like gorgeous shape, like snowflake-esque shape. I think that would be just so fun. Oh, I'd love that idea. You'll have to share in the group, Sylvia, in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group. I'd love to see it. But anyway, so this year we are in 2022. So let's talk about what is happening in these lives. So like last year we had a whole schedule, and we have not finished those projects on that schedule. So what about those, and what's the new schedule? So I'm going to talk about that for a little bit. I do have a plan to still finish all of our stuff. So I'll talk about the new plan first, and then how we're going to finish our current projects that we had going last year. So I would love to do this year, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. I want to do like an alphabet quilt of my little embroidered alphabet animals. So I think a lot of you are probably familiar with that. These are our cute little penguin and fish animals that we've had forever. We have a whole alphabet of embroideries. We have embroideries of the whole alphabet with cute little animals. And I know a lot of you have stitched a lot of them before, but I would like to finally do, I think I missed the tatting here. I would finally like to do that as a nice big stitch along where we make like a quilt as you go quilt out of it. So basically we would stitch every letter of the alphabet, and we can do it in fun ways. It wouldn't have to be exactly how the pattern is. Like we can play around with it. Like we don't have to do like satin stitching for each letter. We can play around and have fun and try different techniques and different styles. But we would stitch that, each letter, and do quilt as you go at the same time. So we'd be putting batting on the back of each piece and doing the quilting, like whether it's sewing or hand stitch or whatever. And as we go, like we wouldn't save them up for the end. We'd kind of do the quilt as we go. But so I'd love to do the whole alphabet of that and turn it into a quilt. And I'd like to have it do another, like, have it be a donation quilt, and we'd have some fun giveaways with it, and we're figuring all that stuff out yet. But that's the general idea. There's more to come for sure, and we will keep you guys updated. We got some neat, fun things that we want to try out with that. But that's the general idea. I think it's going to be really fun. It's been a long time since we've stitched any of those letters, and we have them as PDF patterns and as printable patterns. I think we'll do a really fun bundle with some fun extra special stuff in it. And if you already have the letters, that's great. Then you can unpack them again, and we'll do this big project together. If you don't want to do the whole alphabet, you don't have to. I think it's going to be a really fun, flexible project. So, there's 26 letters of the alphabet, and I do not want this to take 2 years. So what I'm thinking is that we would do, for a schedule, we'd do week 1 and week 2 of the month. We will stitch 2 animals. So 2 letters. So like, theoretically, I'm thinking we just go in order. So we would stitch like A the first week and B the second week. And then the next month we would do C the first week and D the second week. So it probably won't take that whole entire time to stitch those. So in the meantime, we can do the quilt as you go and all that. So that will be like week 1 and week 2. Then week 3, we'll stick to the embroidery of the month. So we'll do, I lost my needle here. We'll do embroidery of the month for week 3, like how we are now. That gives you enough time to get them in the mail and all that. The embroidery of the month. And we have some like fun ideas for that this year for sure. And then the last week, and I'm going to touch on this a little bit. The last week will be kind of a finish it week. So we had finish it Friday this past year, but I think I'm going to dedicate like the whole week plus whatever extra days are in the month to finishing up projects. And included in that is the Splendid Sampler. So we are not done with our Splendid Sampler quilt yet. So in that last week, I want to make sure that we do like a block of the Splendid Sampler, and then we can also keep it open for other little projects and finishing up little things like, you know, like what we're doing here, finishing up these little projects here and there. So that can be like kind of an open week. If you guys have ideas, if you want to try something, like, you know, we just took up tatting for no particular reason for funsies, you know, that would be a perfect week to do some of that. And same like with when my darning, my speed weave darning tools come in, I mean, I'm going to want to play with that. So that will be the perfect week, would be like a week 4 situation. So to recap, that would be weeks 1 and 2, we would be doing the ABC alphabet embroideries. So we'd be stitching 2 cute little animals, plus with the extra time doing some quilt as you go with that and some sewing with that. Week 3 would be embroidery of the month. And week 4 would be the Splendid Sampler quilt along / working on whatever we got hanging out around, or any other little project or thing we get excited about will be week 4. So that is the general schedule. We will have more info going out in emails, and we're still figuring out some things, but theoretically that's what we are thinking right now. Please let me know if that sounds crazy, or if you want to make sure that I'm not forgetting something or whatever. Feel free to speak up, or if you're just not feeling it, let me know. Or if there's like a little project that you want to for sure do sometime this year, let me know so I can get it on the docket for this week 4 stuff, because we can actually plan some things and do them too. Like if there's a project that we've been sitting on that you really want us to do, let me know. So that leaves all of these quilts that I have unfinished from last year. So we have the Granny Square quilt, which I freaking love, and I want to finish that up. There's the Aurifil block of the month that quilt that I think, I have to check. I'm going to make a list of all my unfinished projects, I think, this week, and like where they're at. But I think we might even have to finish the back of the Aurifil quilt, so that we could do in sometime this month. But anyway, so there's those two quilts. There's the I Love Home quilt from a zillion years ago now that we never quilted yet. And there's my Triangle Tango quilt, which I love as well. That's ready to quilt that we haven't. So that's 4 freaking quilts, large quilts, a lot of them, that are hanging out there ready to be quilted. So the problem with that is I don't think I have a machine right now, a sewing machine that is available for quilting. Well, I can free motion quilt, so I can do that on my machine, but I can't do any straight line quilting with my like walking foot right now, because those presser feet don't work on my other sewing machine. That's why I can do free motion, because the presser feet stay down, or not the presser feet, the feed dogs. The feed dogs are staying down, but I wouldn't be able to use a walking foot with that. So what I think I might do, this is my mom's idea, I might take a trip to visit my mom and dad and use her sewing machine, and it might be just like a huge binge free motion quilting. So like an 8-hour a day free motion quilting. So, and that we videotape. So I might do a lot of that where we just have like a finished YouTube video of that with, but also doing lives while I'm doing those videos. Because I'd love to do lives there with you, but just for the sake of getting these guys done and that I can use my mom's machine, I might just like bulk, like try and just hammer a whole quilt out. I mean, I'm not going to be able to do 4 quilts at once, but I could do like 1 quilt. Like when we did the koala quilt, I quilted that whole thing in like 2 days, which is crazy because that was a huge quilt and that was a lot of quilting. But I could probably do that again with another quilt. So I figured I'd binge do that for the 2 days, but I'd also do a live, like our normal live, those 2 days as well. So we'd have like a nice edited video of doing all the quilting, but I'd still be live during that a little bit. So anyway, that's how I'm thinking of finishing these quilts that we worked on last year. So those will get done, and I won't waste all our time quilting those live for the entire process, but just enough so that we can be doing it together. And then I'll come back and we'll bind them all together here. I do kind of like binding, so we can just chill and bind. So anyway, so I think that is my thought on quilting it all. And then I won't have like a quilt taking up my table and stuff here too. Oh, there's amazing sales. Kimberly says there's amazing sales on sewing machines right now. My gosh, that never even occurred to me, but you're right. I could just get a sewing machine, I suppose. I've never gotten a new sewing machine. I did get a new used, well, I guess that's, all my sewing machines are used, but I have a machine that does a tiny bit of machine embroidery on it, and I guess that one I sort of bought new, but I think now that I think about it, I think that one was a refurbished one. Oh my gosh, dang, Amy, you're so right. Amy says, make sure I schedule massages for after. You are absolutely right. That's you know, I hadn't thought about that till now, but like right now my shoulder's hurting because I've been doing a lot of this sort of hand stuff. But yeah, you're right. That much quilting will need all the yoga, all the massages, all of it. You're absolutely right. All right, so right now I've gone up this entire side here, and I've gone around here. It's looking freaking awesome. It's looking like it's just floating there, but we are totally attached. Like this little ring right here is completely attached. Ugh, this is looking so cute, and our picots are still floating around by themselves, so it makes it look like even more like it's floating on the top here. I am loving how this is turning out. So this is great. So I'm gonna keep going here. We only have like 5 more minutes or so tonight, so we'll finish this up tomorrow though for sure. Like, I'm in the groove now. Like, we're all set up. We'll just finish tacking all this down tomorrow. And maybe I'll even get the sewing machine out. It's been a while for the sewing machine, but then because we gotta sew back up, right here, sew back up our little hole here. But yeah, so maybe tomorrow we just finish this up. I will look into the whole with the cardigan thing and PJD Ostique as in. Okay, so I gotta read this. So, oops, that should be steek. Is a stitch either zigzag or straight down the center of the sweater, then stitch a couple of lines down each side of the steeking. Oh, so it won't unravel. Oh, okay. That makes total sense. So just do a zigzag right up the middle of the sweater. That's kind of like shows where it is. And then extra lines on the edge, or on the sides of those lines of stitching, just to like hold it all in place. Okay, and then I can cut the center line where that zigzag is, and it will be a cardigan. Oh, and I can finish off each side from unraveling and looking neat. So how would you suggest, so in my head, so that sounds like a great process. Oh, I just realized that I just got my hand in here and I have my fingers back here and I don't have the paper back there. Have I been doing that this whole time? No, I've been using the paper. Weird, I just went to like my normal, I got talking and now all of a sudden I'm stitching this like completely like how I needle turn applique. I just totally lost that paper in there. I think I just dropped it. I do actually kind of like that there. There we go. Okay, so steeking, or to steek, or whatever. What was it? Yeah, steek is a process of cutting this cardigan. So it's less of like a name for a cardigan. It's the process. All right, that makes sense. Okay, that's a great idea though. So you sew down the middle and then sew some extra lines along the edge of the sides of that sewing on the middle, then cut, and then finish the edge. And in my head, the finishing the edge will be just putting bias tape on either side that we make. So like I'd find some cute fabric from my stash. Like I'm thinking like a bright color would be fun, like a really bright, fun little strip. And that will cover the edge, and then we sew that down. So that, in my head, that's what I'm talking about. But maybe there's other ways to do it. Oh, interesting. So Kimberly says there are long metal needles that you use to be sure your stitching or your steeking is straight. I love this. This is my favorite thing ever. I love coming on live here, and I love like learning new things live here and testing them out, because I would never be able to learn all this stuff on my own. This is great. Learned all of tatting here with you guys, all the tricks of all of that, and learning all these new words, new ways to do things. It's the best. Okay, so I'm gonna Google that still. So okay, so there's a whole special supplies and stuff for this steeking as well. So is it like felting? So are you actually like not covering the stitching? Are you actually just kind of like felting it afterwards? Because that's theoretically, I don't know if that's what I want to do, but like that's a theoretical thing that could happen, because this is just real wool. Yeah, exactly, Sylvia. Hard to know if you had never even heard those words before. Okay, this is looking awesome. This is just, it's completely attached here. I definitely think I will be appliquing more tatting pieces in my future, because I'm just, like I said, I'm still just learning tatting. I don't have many pieces, but I'm still like, what do I do with any of this? I love making this stuff, but lots of times I'm just like, okay, I don't even know if I like the look of this or whatever. I just had fun making it. So with tatting, that's kind of like, what do I do with all these pieces? I do like the idea of like the little earrings. I want to know what else to make though, because like what non-wearables can we do with tatting? I'm curious about that. Okay, the needles don't have ends on them. Oh, interesting. So you can pull that through the individual stitches from the bottom to the top, no felting. So kind of like picking up stitches to do an edge, almost. Oh, you can then pick up the stitches along both sides and add ribbing. Okay. So that totally makes sense, but how does that ribbing, because there's going to be a raw edge to this somehow, right? So does that ribbing kind of take up that, like, help that raw edge? Ooh, Tracy says, I want to try English paper piecing this year. Ooh, I'm sure we'll be doing more of that as we work on the Splendid Sampler. Oh, Blood Elf says bookmarks. Oh, that's a cute idea. So you could do some tatted bookmarks. I know several people who wouldn't mind those as gifts. And with like this really light thread like this, that would be really nice for a bookmark. I like that idea. All right. I think I'm just gonna go to the center here and we will call it a night. I know I've gone a little bit over. So just a reminder, if you're new here, I'm here every weeknight, Monday through Friday. I know the last few weeks have been goofy because of the holidays, but I am back. So Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And we go for an hour, so till about 9:30. Sometimes it's a little more, sometimes a little less, sometimes a lot more if I want to get a project done and I'm like, screw it, I'm staying up and we're doing this. So, but in general, for about an hour. Yes, raw edge, but then when you finish the raw, okay, so check out the Elizabeth Cinnamon for sticking directions. Oh, that's a good idea. So Laura says, and also that my granny sewed gross grain ribbon to the finished side of knitting, turn under and hemmed. Okay, so I've seen that gross grain ribbon on the insides of those before, and that adds some strength to it too. Oh, I should think about that. Man, dang, see? Another thing where I'm like, all I gotta do is like sew up or cut up the center and sew things on, but I think it sounded like there's a little bit more to it, and with good reason. So I will definitely look into all of that. Yeah, because that gross grain ribbon, I don't necessarily want like buttons or anything like that, but like having that ribbon to add some sturdiness to the back, that seems really smart. And now I'm really curious about like this adding more stitching. Maybe we do that instead of just binding it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into all that. Cool. All right, you guys, we are halfway done stitching this, and it's not going to take long at all tomorrow. I mean, most of our time tonight was just digging through my bag, looking at all the stuff in the bag, and just prepping the piece. We starched this and everything. I'm going to just stick my, you know what I am going to do? I'm going to take my needle minder here and give this a try. I think I'll just leave it on the outside here. We'll just stick it like right there. There we go. And there. Now my needle can hang out there and I won't lose it and I can just stay. So we've gone from the bottom here and stitched along just this outer edge of our double stitches. I've left the picots, so the picots are all dangling still yet, which I think is kind of cute. And so I've stitched all the way around. We've gone around this edge, so this is completely secure here. That's not going anywhere. It looks like it's just floating. That's awesome. It's actually way better. The stitches are hidden way more than I thought they were going to be. Like, you can hardly even see them. I mean, you really can't, so that's great. They've just kind of settled into the thread. And we've gone to the center here, so just around the bend back down, and we're totally done. I think putting that piece of paper back here is totally helping. So I don't think we're having any trouble with that. It's moving around still, but that's been helpful, so I'm not accidentally stabbing through the back. And then we did open this up so I could get my hand in and stuff, and that piece of paper. So we'll take the paper out, and then we'll sew this shut. So I'll probably get the sewing machine out tomorrow, and we'll sew that shut, and then we got a finished freaking project, and that's what I'm talking about this month. Oh, speaking of, so all of that stuff, here, I'm going to flip the camera, you guys. So all of the schedule stuff, all of the, like, alphabet animals, all that. So our schedule where we break it down per weeks that I was talking about, like where we do the ABC animal quilt for the first 2 weeks, then the embroidery of the month, and then the splendid sampler with whatever other random project the last week. That's going to all start February. So February is when we start the projects. We will have more info on all of these things before then. And have like supplies and stuff ready for then. So don't worry about it quite yet. Maybe we'll even start mid-February. We'll see. We're working on that yet. So January is all going to be just finishing up all these little random things. Our last kind of month to just like check off these things, to get clean, basically. We're going to clean up some of these projects, some of these lingering things I've been wanting to do, like that sweater. Here it is, just to show you guys. So it's really, really nice. It's just maybe a little thin. I just want like the slit down the middle. So those sort of fun projects. So that will be this month, and then we'll get on our good schedule of the embroidering and finishing up the quilts. We'll get on that starting February. So it's a chill month a little bit yet. Finish up those projects and clear the slate for the alphabet quilt. And then we'll still do the third week of the month. We'll be working on the embroidery of the month. So a couple weeks from now, we'll be stitching up our little penguin fellers. And that is the plan. So thanks again to everyone. It has been so nice chatting again. It's been forever, it seems. And it's only Monday, so we got a whole week to hang out yet. So I will see you tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central. Thanks again, everyone. Good night.